representative of the Palestinian people.
Earlier this week, Saudi Arabia and France called on countries at the United Nations to support the declaration.
In a significant move, just weeks before the United Nations General Assembly, the United States has announced it is denying and revoking visas for members of the Palestinian Authority and the Palestine Liberation Organization. The decision, aimed at holding Palestinian leadership accountable for what Washington calls a failure to meet peace commitments, has drawn sharp attention from international observers and Palestinian officials. The announcement was made on August 29th by the US State Department.
In accordance with U.S. law, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is denying and revoking visas from members of the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, and the Palestinian Authority, PA, ahead of the upcoming United Nations General Assembly. The Trump administration has been clear. It is in our national security interest to hold the PLO and PA accountable for not complying with their commitments and for undermining the prospects for peace.
Officials cited multiple reasons for the move, including continued incitement, appeals to international legal bodies, and the fallout from Hamas's October 7th attack on southern Israel. The State Department further elaborated, stating,
"Before the PLO and PA can be considered partners for peace, they must consistently repudiate terrorism, including the October 7th massacre, and end incitement to terrorism in education, as required by U.S. law and as promised by the PLO. The PA must also end its attempts to bypass negotiations through international lawfare campaigns, including appeals to the ICC and ICJ, and efforts to secure the unilateral recognition of a conjectural Palestinian state. Both steps materially contributed to Hamas's refusal to release its hostages and to the breakdown of the Gaza ceasefire talks."
Despite the restrictions, the Palestinian Authority's mission to the United Nations will remain exempt under the 1947 UN Headquarters Agreement, which ensures access to the UN for diplomatic purposes.
The PA mission to the UN will receive waivers per the UN Headquarters Agreement. The United States remains open to re-engagement that is consistent with our laws should the PA-PLO meet their obligations and demonstrably take concrete steps to return to a constructive path of compromise and peaceful coexistence with the State of Israel.
Palestinian UN Ambassador Riyad Mansour reacted shortly after the news broke, telling reporters,
"This statement attributed to the State Department was just released. It was brought to my attention just about half an hour ago. We will see exactly what it means and how it applies to any of our delegation, and we will respond accordingly."
Mansour added that President Mahmoud Abbas still plans to attend the UN General Assembly, which includes a scheduled session on Palestinian rights on September 22nd. However, the restrictions could affect whether Abbas or other key Palestinian officials can travel to New York for the event. The visa action follows US sanctions imposed in July against unnamed officials from the PA and PLO. According to CNN, the Biden administration's earlier extension of protections for Palestinian officials is now being reversed by the Trump administration, which is taking a harder stance against Palestinian international advocacy. While the exact list of officials affected by the visa restrictions has not been disclosed, the broader implications are clear. Palestinian representation at the UNGA could be significantly limited at a moment when a growing number of US allies, including the UK, Canada, France and Australia, are moving toward recognizing a Palestinian state. The move has also reignited legal and diplomatic questions surrounding the 1947 UN Headquarters Agreement, which obligates the US as the host country to grant visas for UN business. In the past, Washington has denied access to controversial figures, including former Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir in 2013 and PLO Chairman Yasser Arafat in 1988. Still, critics point to inconsistencies, noting that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is also wanted by the ICC, is expected to attend this year's UN gathering without obstruction. As world leaders prepare to converge in New York, the United States' decision to restrict visas for Palestinian officials adds a new layer of diplomatic friction to an already complex geopolitical moment.